So the Upanishad mantras, they all reveal the supreme reality, the nature of the supreme reality. This is the main topic. Yeah? But there may be other topics also, but the main topic of all the Upanishads is the Mahavakya Upadesha. Yeah? That is revealing the supreme reality, the nature, Brahma, knowing which everything is known. Yeah? So we have seen many examples, how the father will explain his son, yeah, Shvetaketu, saying that knowing a lump of clay, if you know clay, you will know the whole world of clay. You will know clay items. Knowing gold, you will know all the gold items, watch, pen, ornaments. Knowing iron, you will know all the iron elements. Yeah? So this is the knowledge of the Karanam. So which means when I know the Karanam, the cause, then I know because. Because means Karyam. Yeah? So I will know all the effects and products by knowing its essence, the essential knowledge or the tattva. Like here I have this clay. So the pot is the Nama Rupa. But I have essential knowledge of this thing here as clay. Yeah? And so if I know clay, I know the whole world of clay items. Yeah? So the Upanishad, by giving these illustrations, they are pointing out that you are not this Karya. You are not the Karya body, Karya mind, Karya role, profession, Karya, states and attributes, but you are the Karanam. And what is that Karanam? Jagat Karanam. Tat Jagat Karanam Tvam Asi. So this is the Mahavakya which all the Upanishads talk about. And knowing the Karanam, essential knowledge, I would know everything. Yeah? So knowing that Jagat Karanam Brahma as oneself, yeah, that is the complete Mahavakya. And we just saw that in the Bhagavad Gita also, chapter 4. Janma karma cha me divyam yo veti tattvataha evam yo veti tattvataha. So where Sri Krishna says, the one who knows the secret of my birth and my karma, for such a person there is no punarjanma. He or she has gained amritam. So what is the secret there? Tattvataha janati. So the one who has the essential knowledge of the Karanam, the Tattvam, and that person knows everything is a Jnani. Yeah? So this mantras is pointed out in the Upanishads. Yeah? And that Brahma has manifested as the entire Jagat, as the Surya, Chandra, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Kala, Agni, Prana, yeah, as countless manifestations, including the Pratyak Atma. Yeah. So thus, this is the knowledge that Ashvalayana, the student, has asked Brahmadev. Approaching the Guru, who is the Brahma, creator, he asks for this knowledge. And the creator says, one can know the nature of the Supreme Brahma by Shraddha, Bhakti, Dhyanam. And these three words is to be understood as what? Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. May one listen systematically and consistently to the nature of the Tattvam as unfolded by a Guru, and then reflect upon it for a length of time, removing doubts, the samshaya, nivritti. Then finally, Nididhyasanam is owning up, is the meditation, on my true nature. Yeah? So far, we saw all this, and it was also pointed out that this is the only means of liberation. Yeah, Jnanam eva moksha. Then Brahmadev also pointed out how to do these dhyanam. So that Shiva Tattvam is to be meditated upon in the lotus-like heart space, Hrit Pundarikam Madhye. We saw those mantras. So there are levels of dhyanam. No, Brahmadev says one can do Eka Rupa Dhyanam, Aneka Rupa Dhyanam, or Arupa Dhyanam. So Eka Rupa is, may one meditate on the Tattvam as Umasahayam, Trilochanam, Neelakantham, the Shiva that we are familiar with, in the lotus heart space. This is called Saguna Eka Rupa Dhyanam, which would be suitable for the majority, because the mind needs something to relate to, connect to. So Saguna Brahma Dhyanam would be easier. Then the second level also, which Brahmadev pointed out, is you can take any manifestation, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, Prana, Kala, time, and that also when you meditate upon the Vishwarupa, then also you will gain the knowledge of the Shiva Tattvam. That is Aneka Rupa or Vishwarupa Dhyanam. And then we have the Arupa Dhyanam. Arupa Dhyanam is meditation or contemplation on the formless, spaceless, timeless Shiva Tattva. And we saw that also. Can I contemplate upon Avyaktam, Achintyam, Aprameya, Avyayam, Atma? There is no name and form here, but there is an understanding that Atma is not an object of thought. Atma is not available for my senses. Atma is Adbhutam, wondrous, and Atma is not subject to change or decay or time. So whatever is suitable, a choice is given to us. We can do Eka Rupa Dhyanam, Aneka Rupa Dhyanam, or Arupa Dhyanam. All this we covered already. And then a person who continues meditation, he would be able to do what? Sampashyan. That verb came, very important word. Samyak Darshanam. Sampashyan means he will have that lofty vision of the Upanishads as Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. That the Brahma, Nirguna Brahma, is equally indwelling a mosquito, an ant, an elephant. Brahmadev, the entire universe is pervaded by Nirguna Brahma. So that was Sampashyan. The clear knowledge of the Shiva Tattvam as the all-pervading supreme reality. So far, I'm doing a quick recap. Then last session, we saw a metaphor in mantra number 11. Now, in mantra 11, 12, 13 onwards, it is about mananam. Mananam is churning the mind. How can I do Vedanta Vichara in the mind to remove doubts? This bold statement of the Upanishads that you are the cause of the world. Tat Jagat Karanam Tvam Asi. Can we, understand it right away? It is very difficult, How can I be the cause of the whole world? Obviously, my mind will deny it, So there will be a lot of doubts, But Upanishads cannot be, wrong, because they are the breath of Ishvara, revealed by Ishvara. They are, Apaurusheya Pramana. So then I have to do Mananam, churn the Mahavakyas, the Vedanta Vichara over and over in the mind. And how to do that? We saw a metaphor in mantra 11. That is, in olden days, even now, So the traditional priests, they will rub two blocks of wood. That's called arani. So there is a lower arani and the upper arani. When they are rubbed, it generates sparks, and the sparks is used to create a fire to light the Yajna Kunda, and do the Vedic ritual. That was how it used to be done strictly. So this metaphor is used to show us how to churn the mind, how to do mananam. Keep the lower arani as the mind, and the higher arani, the second wood piece, is Omkara. Om. So Om, as we know, is, three matras are there. Akara, Ukara, Makara, which represent the three worlds: waking, dream, and deep sleep. So when we utter Om, then all these, three worlds are manifest. But the will merge into U will merge into Ma, and Ma will merge into silence. So every Om utterance ends in silence, and the next Om begins from the silence. And Shastra says, Upanishad says, you are that silence. You are Amatra, silence in between the Om chanting. Yeah? And by that silence, we mean Nirguna Parabrahma, that Avyayam, Ajaha, Aprameya, Achintyam, all these words of negation we saw is referred to by that silence. No? That is my true nature. So, Jnana Nirmathanabhyasat Pashandahiti Panditaha. And hence, when I do Vedanta Vichara with the help of Mahavakyas, then I generate the fire of knowledge, yeah, which burns the bondage. And the bondage here is not a physical bondage. It is a notional psychological bondage. In the form of, this is me, Anatma is me, and these belong to me. So, Name, Name, Iti, Namaha. And that is Panditaha burns this ignorance. The ignorance is not knowing my true nature. Yeah? Atma and Atma confusion is the bondage. And so, how else will we remove it? Only by knowledge. And hence, Na anyena hetuna. Earlier in the mantra, it is said there is no other means of liberation other than knowing oneself as that Shiva Tattvam. And that is Atma Jnana. Then we saw in mantra 12 onwards, the Vedanta Vichara is being done by a very profound prakriya called Avasthatraya Prakriya. Now, Avasthatraya Prakriya, we have seen it in various other texts. It's a very important prakriya which analyzes the three states of experience. Now, what are they? Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Waking, dream, and the deep sleep states. Yeah? And these three states, we know, they rotate. Every day we are going through these three states. Yeah? Dream is very important. Most of us will think, oh, early morning dream will come true. So it had better be a good dream. And if it early morning, if the dream is not good, what will we do? We will pray to Bhagavan. May that dream not come true. But Vedanta Shastra, takes us beyond all these limited interpretations and asks us to analyze the waking dream. Is not our waking world also dreamlike? That is what the conclusion we are going to arrive at. But here, mantra 12 first begins with Saha Eva. Who is Saha? Saha is referring to the Jiva. Yeah? Saha Eva. Who is the Jiva? Right now, the Jiva is the one who is attending the Zoom session. So, the Jiva who says, I am the son of so-and-so. Yeah, I am the parent of 2 children. I am an IT professional settled in Dubai. I'm fond of sports. I appeared in the Forbes magazine. Yeah, and I am a student of Gita and so on. So this is the Jiva. And this Jiva, Shariram Asthaya. Shariram Asthaya means who identifies with the bodies. Which bodies? The gross body, Sthula Shariram, and the Sukshma body, the subtle Shariram, mind. Yeah? Saha Eva. So this Jiva, identifying with the bodies. Why does he identify with the bodies? Maya Parimohitatma. Yeah? Coming under the spell of Maya. Yeah? The spell of Maya. And we saw that Maya is the power which has 2 powers, the Maya Shakti. One is the concealing power, Avarana, and one is the Vikshepa, projecting. So the Jiva forgets that he or she is Nirguna Parabrahma Tattvam, and identifies with the gross and subtle body and is a Maya Parimohitatma. And then once his true nature is concealed, then what happens? Vikshepa takes over. Vikshepa is the power of projection. Yeah? Then what? I see the world as a source of sorrow or joy. Yeah? Now we're talking about, the one who is deluded under the spell of Maya, not the wise jnani. Yeah? The ajnani, the ordinary person who is deluded and comes under the spell of Maya, for him or her, the world is a cause of sorrow, dukkha hetu and sukha hetu. He will see certain objects are desirable and pursues those actions. Then other objects are undesirable, runs away from them. Then some other objects are neutral, he will remain indifferent. So the actions are governed by the nature of the world for this person. And this is a jiva. Saha eva maya parimohitatma shariramastaya. What does he do? Karoti sarvam. Karoti sarvam means does everything. Yeah? Which means he has become a karta. Karta means the one who has doership. Yeah, I must do this. I must get that car. I must buy this. I must go on a holiday vacation. Karoti sarvam. Yeah. Then what kind of activities? Striya anna panadi vichitra bhogaihi. So the bhogas. The bhogas means enjoyment, sense gratification, through food and drinks and, objects of pleasure. And we can extend it to many other things. Whatever one is a bhoga. Striya anna panadi vichitra bhogaihi. Then what happens? Saha eva. The same jiva now jagrat paritripti meti. In the waking state, this jiva attains paritriptim. Paritripti means sense gratification. Yeah? Obtains fulfillment of his desires. Yeah? And so here we see that first there is the karta, yeah, and then there is the bhokta. And this is the description of the waking state. So we saw that name in the waking state, I'm identified with the body and mind, and the whole world is experienced where? In the mind. The sense organs will bring in data, shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. The mind will analyze the data and will say, yes, let's go for that, fulfill that desire. Or no, remember, it's an unpleasant memory for me, I don't want that. So the mind will take action, decisions, and then responses are generated. So Shastra says that the world is not independently existing outside of us. We are experiencing the world in our minds every moment. Yeah? So the waking world is a play or a projection of the mind. Yeah? And that was explained in this verse number 12. Yeah? Then we saw the verse number 13 talked about the other two states. What are the other two states? Swapna, the dream, and Sushupti, the deep sleep. So in Swapne, what happens? Saha jiva. This same jiva becomes a Sukha Dukkha Bhokta. Now, in the dream, what happens? All the impressions that were recorded in the waking state, now they are projected from the mind. So in the dream state, there is a whole dream world. I may be a Swamini in the waking state, but in my dream world, I may be Arjuna, talking to Sri Krishna in the Dwapara Yuga. Yeah? So in the dream world, the objects, situations, and events can appear in a very strange combinations, and we all understand that very well. Yeah? So in the dream time is different, dream hunger, dream objects, dream situations, Everything is different. But what is similar to the waking state? In the dream also there is a sukham and dukkham. Let's say I'm pronounced guilty and I'm in jail awaiting the sentence. There is intense dukkham. Yeah, I'm innocent, I'm crying. And there is intense pain. And then when I won a lottery or, my business has succeeded, then I'm joyful in the dream. Yeah? So sukha dukkha bhokta. Yeah? So in the dream, one is the Taijasaha, is the name of the dreamer. And the mind will project all the vasanas in a dream world. Yeah? So even though I'm not a karta in the dream, I am a bhokta. I am exhausting papa and punya karma phalam in the dream. That's one good thing. Yeah. And how does all this happen? Swamayaya kalpita jiva loke. Yeah? Again, look at the power of Maya. The power of Maya will conceal the waker status. See, the waker has exited. Now the dreamer has come in. Vishwaha is gone. And Taijasaha has taken over. Yeah? So, Vishwaha is concealed by the Avarana Shakti of Maya, and then the dream world is projected by the Vikshepa Shakti. Now you see in the dream, there is place for elephants and international travel, mountains, rivers, oceans. Everything has come in the dream. Yeah, how? Swamayaya. Yeah. So there is a subject-object duality and experience in the dream also, just like in the waking state. Yeah? Only in the waking state we are identified with gross and subtle body, and in the dream only subtle body, the mind. Yeah? And this is the Taijasaha. Then Sushupti Kale, what happens in the Sushupti Kala? Even the mind switches off. Sakale Viline. So now there is no subject, no object, no world, no time, no space. Yeah? No body, no mind. No family, no profession, no identity. So I am just lying there. Tamaha abhibhutaha. Overwhelmed by tamas, which means there's a blanket of ignorance. Yeah? Some people compare, there's a beautiful metaphor to understand Sushupti. Let us say you enter a dark room. Yeah? You enter a dark room where all the objects are there. Your books are there, chair, table, but you cannot see them. So there is the experience of darkness. Sight is there, but you cannot see anything. Yeah? So Sushupti Kala, deep sleep, is the experience of nothing. And that is also an experience. Yeah? So, tamo vibhutaha, and then what happens then? Sukha rupam eti. So, one is blissfully, ignorantly asleep. If I had some family disputes or financial problems in the Jagrat Avastha, they don't trouble me in Sushupti. I am absolutely calm and peaceful and relieved of all the anxiety and stress of the waking world in the deep sleep state. Yeah. So that is why it is such a great blessing. Puja Swamiji will say, if somebody is enjoying Sushupti, do not wake up that person. Because it is by great punyam that we are getting a few minutes of deep sleep. In Jagrat Avastha, if it is 18 hours, then the remaining 6 hours will be filled with dreaming and deep sleep. Yeah, and most of the time they'll be dreaming, and what is left is deep sleep. And deep sleep is the only healing period. We are in the Karana Shariram, and the sleeper is known as Pragnyaha, and he is experiencing Anandam. Because there is no conflict, no stress, and that is the Asanga Purushaha. So that shows that when I enjoy detachment, there is peace. Yeah? I get into trouble by getting attached. and by pursuing things which I think will bring me peace, security, happiness. But look at the state of deep sleep. Ananda Swarupam. That Atma is Ananda Swarupa. This is what deep sleep shows us. Yeah. So Sukha Rupam Eti. But the problem of deep sleep is I'm helplessly experiencing it. I'm not actively experiencing it. I'm ignorant. Only on waking up can I tell that I slept well. Yeah? But definitely the deep sleep would have impacted what? The healing of the body, tissue repair, elimination of wastes. The whole factory is shut down. The bodies are all switched off. And now there is a repair work, maintenance going on. That is all happening in deep sleep. Yeah? So these are the three avasthas which we have covered in the last session. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. And when the Jiva becomes a Vishwaha, Taijasaha, Pragnyaha, and is identified with one or more bodies, and then he is experiencing. But why are we analyzing all this? Because the Shastra wants to tell us that you are experiencing all the three states. You are the Avasthatraya Sakshi, the witness. And so in the Jagrat Avastha, I can be a witness. I'm a witness of the waking world experiences. Then the dream, also I'm witness to the dream worlds, and in the deep sleep also I am there as the witness. Witnessing nothing, witnessing the absence of experience. See, if I was not there in deep sleep, how can I recall the experience on waking up? Yeah. So this is what Adi Shankaracharya says. Yat swapna jagara sushuptimavaiti nityam tat brahma nishkalamaham nacha bhuta sangaha. I'm not this bhuta sangaha, aggregate of 5 elements as the physical body and mind. Yeah, I am the Atma, which is a higher dimension, subtlemost dimension. And this analysis we have seen in Dakshinamurti Stotram also. I think the 7th shloka. Balyadishvapi jagradadishu tatha sarvasvavasthasvapi vyavritta svanavartamanamahamittyantam sadam swatmanam prakatikaroti bhajatam yo mudraya bhadraya tasmai shri gurumurtaye nama idam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. So that 7th shloka, Shankaracharya says, why only the 3 states of waking, dream and deep sleep? Look at the stages of your life. Childhood, youth, adult, then middle age, aging. You are present in all the stages. There is a continuity. So that invariable constant thread which links all the stages, all the 3 experiences, avasthas, that is the witnessing awareness, or that Atma Brahma. Yeah? And that is who you are. So now the next few mantras are also going to elaborate upon this a little bit more. And so let us continue with mantra number 14. Punascha janmantara karma yogat. Punascha janmantara karma yogat. Sa eva jiva swapiti prabuddhaha. Sa eva jiva swapiti prabuddhaha. Puratraye kridati yascha jivaha. Puratraye kridati yascha jivaha. Tatastu jatam sakalam vichitram. Tatastu jatam sakalam vichitram. Adharam anandam akhanda bodham. Adharam anandam akhanda bodham. Yasmin layam yati puratrayancha. Yasmin layam yati puratrayancha. Let me break the sandhis. Punaha cha janmantara karma yoga saha eva jivaha swapiti prabuddhaha. Puratraye kridati yaha cha jivaha tataha tu jatam sakalam vichitram. Let's do these two lines first. No? Then punaha cha. Punaha cha means and further and again. Saha eva jivaha. So the same jiva. Who is the jiva now? The jiva is the one who is talking, the Swamini jiva, and all the other jivas are listening. So we are the jivas now, identified with the bodies. Saha eva jivaha. So this jivaha, swapiti prabuddha. Swapiti means sleeps. So it is the jiva who gets tired, experiences fatigue after 16 or 18 hours and goes to sleep. And swapiti, we have to include deep sleep also. Yeah. It is said that we have to go to deep sleep first and then only wake up to dream. You can't go to dream state directly from the wake up. The Vishwaha has to merge into Prajnaha. Then the Prajnaha wakes up as Taijasa. Yeah? A little note there. So Swapiti. So the Jiva, sleeps and dreams. And then Prabuddhaha. Prabuddhaha means wakes up again. So these three states, avasthas, are happening constantly every day. Yeah? Now the question is, why does one wake up? It is not because I have set the alarm. It is not because I have to catch a flight. It is not because it's Monday and I have to go to work. But Janmantara Karma Yoga. That second word there. Punahacha Janmantara Karma Yoga means because of the yoga. See, Karma Yoga, it's not our Karma Yoga of chapter 3, Gita. No. So the yoga here means association, the contact. So the association with the karmas of Janmantara, of all the past karmas. That means what? What is waking me up every day? I have to finish the unfulfilled duties and ambitions and desires that are waiting to be fulfilled. Laundry is waiting. I have a dentist appointment and I have to go shopping and plan for the day. The to-do list is waiting. All this is Janmantara Karma Yoga. Saha eva jivaha swapiti prabuddhaha. So what this really means is that karma is the reason why I continue. Even sleep, when I fall asleep, whether I will have a good dream or a nightmare, and when I will stop dreaming, and when I will get up, all this is, a karmic pattern. So that is the meaning of the first line. Yeah. Now in the Sushupti Avastha, all the vrittis, the karmas are in where? Karana Shariram. And Karana Shariram is the Sanchita store of karma. So all the vrittis and the desires are like a chip, computer chip. And everything is in the hibernate sleep mode. Then Prabuddha, when one wakes up, then they begin to sprout. Yeah, I remember and I continue what I left yesterday, what was left unfinished, I continue it. That is why they say that we have to be very careful of the last thought every night when I go to bed. Yeah? You may have noticed that the last thought will be the first thought the next morning. Yeah? Generally, that will happen. Yeah? It's like that stack principle, last in, first out. So that is why the yogis are very careful to do some nice pranayama, om chanting, positive affirmations, mantras before going to bed. Yeah, because that is how we are going to wake up. If I do om, then that impression will be foremost the next day. Yeah? If I sleep with an anxiety and troubled with the thought, then that is going to wake me up. Why? Next morning, it will wake me up in the middle of the night. Yeah? So the first line is this is what it says, that karma is the reason why I wake up every day and go through these three states. Yeah. And then we saw that now we have to analyze how every state is so important. Now let's take the dream state first. We know that in the dream state, there is a dream world, and it is a replay, replay of the impressions gathered in the waking state. So, but whatever I exhaust in the dream, whether it's a pleasurable experience or a painful experience, but on waking up, what happens? Both are negated. On waking up, I say, oh my God, that was a nightmare. I'm so relieved. It's not true. It's mithya. But what happens when we had a good dream? Supposing I won a lottery, that amount cannot be credited in the waking state in the bank. So I'll be disappointed. Oh, it was just a dream. So everything is negated and given the status of mithya on waking up. Yeah. So what does the dream experience teach us? Teach us that to relate to life, the waking world also as a dream-like. So the wise yogi or the mumukshu will also consider the experiences of the Jagrat Avastha as mithya situations, mithya roles, mithya events. Yeah? Will not take it too seriously. Yeah? Okay, they are subject to arrival and departure. Yeah? Like even movie scenes. Yeah? There are tragedy and romance and suspense and thriller, but I am part of the audience. Yeah, I am watching and enjoying both. Yeah, and hence the dream shows us that as compared to Atma, the Paramarthika Atma, this empirical world enjoys a mithya status. What does mithya mean? We have to repeat it every time because very important definition. Mithya means that which enjoys a dependent existence, not absolute existence. Yeah. So we saw the waking world is also a play of the mind. So for the wise jnani, the world is not a cause for sorrow or happiness because he has discovered the Purnatva. And hence, mithya is that which is there, but which is not really there. Yeah? It has only an empirical relative status. So, this is what the dream teaches us. Then, in the waking state, if I can relate to the Dirgha Swapna of my waking world, in Ramana Maharishi's words, if dream is a Alpa Swapna, small dream, then the waking world is a Dirgha Swapna, Maha Swapna. And we have seen in the Gita also chapter 2, Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Yasyam Jagrati Sanyamim. Remember the paradoxical verse in the Sthita Prajna verses at the end of chapter 2. Krishna says, that which is night for the ignorant people is day for the wise people. And that which is day for the ignorant is night for the wise person. That means what? The wise have woken up from the Ajnana Kadal. The wise people have woken up from the Ajnana Nidra, the sleep of ignorance, which is the daily life. Yeah? Which means they have woken up to their Paramarthika status and identity of the Atma Brahma. So then what use is this knowledge? Because then in the waking state, I will not be pushed by raga dveshas. I want this in order to be happy. I want to run away from that. That is making me unhappy. No raga dveshas, no push-pull, situation. Yeah, and so nothing can affect me in the waking state because it is all the world, Jagan Mithya. Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya. And so the dream is analyzed a lot in Vedanta Shastras only for this reason, to show us the mithya nature of the empirical world. Yeah? And that is why, we have that famous mantra in Kathopanishad, which is, I think, a favorite of Swami Vivekananda. Uttishtata jagrata varan prapya nibodhata. Uttishtata, O Jiva, get up. Uttishtata, jagrata, awaken to your higher nature. Varan prapya nibodhata. Varan prapya means having approached the wise gurus or a guru parampara, nibodhata, gain this knowledge. Very famous mantra. Uttishtata jagrata varan prapya nibodhata. Kshurasya dhara, like that will go. So that is these two states, dream. Now, what does the deep sleep state reveal to us? The deep sleep state reveals to us the nature of moksha. Yeah, that is how it helps us to understand that in the deep sleep state, I am so close to Ananda, Ananda Sarupa Atma. Only I am experiencing it passively, not actively. Yeah? So, if I can be so happy in deep sleep without bank accounts, without a family, without any possessions, home, property, a car, pets, then does that not show that my true nature must be Ananda Sarupa Atma? That is the revelation of deep sleep. Now, the yogis or the jnanis, they want to enjoy the Ananda Sarupa Atma not only in deep sleep, but in all the states, especially in the waking state. And that is why we have the pursuit of knowledge. Why are we studying Upanishads? Because we want to gain knowledge of the Ananda Atma Sarupaha here and now in the Jagrat Avastha. So even when all the three states are important, because they all have some useful function, but we have to gain knowledge only in the waking state, right? We have to be awake to listen to the Guru Upadesha. Yeah? So only in the Jagrat Avastha can I do Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, like right now, Hopefully we are all awake in the Jagrat Avastha. Yeah? So this is the three states. Now look at the second line of the mantra 14. Puratraye kridati yahacha jiva. So this jivaha kridati. Kridati means sports, plays. Yeah? So the jiva is active where? In the Puratraye, in the three cities. And what are the three cities? Waking, dream, deep sleep. So this mantra likens the three states to the three cities. And Puratraye kridati yahacha jivaha. Or you can take three bodies also. But I think three states is better meaning here. So the jiva who is actively experiencing the three cities, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Tataha tu jatam sakalam vichitram. Tataha is, now when we analyze, where did all the three states come from? That is Tataha. Tataha is from that, and that is the Nirguna Parabrahma. Tataha is out of that. The Jiva who is really Parameshwara, Paramatma. Tataha tu, from the Jiva alone, Jatam is born, what? Sakalam Vichitram. This infinite diversity of experiences in all the three worlds, whether it's waking experiences, dream, or deep sleep. See, when I fall asleep, then where did the waking world go? Into myself, folded back into the Swarupa. And then from the mind, dream world is projected. Then that also goes back, and there is only sleep avastha. Then again the world comes back out of that same jiva. Yeah? Everything is intact, So if I sleep, as Swamini, I will not get up as Uma, right? I will get up as Swamini only, because all the vrittis, my karma, and everything is kept intact in the Karana Shariram, and they will sprout the next day or whenever I am awake. Yeah? So here it says that all these three states in which the Jiva Kriya, these sports, manifest from me, me the Atma, and they fall back also. They collapse or resolve back into me. Yeah? And what is the nature of that? The last line, Adharam, Anandam, Akhanda Bodham. 3 words are there. Adharam. Adharam is the support or the base. Now that Atma or Nirguna Parabrahma is the Adhara, the base. Just as gold is the base for what? All the ornaments. Just as the movie screen is the base, the ground, the support for the movie, Mithya movie. So, Nirguna Parabrahma Atma is the Adharam. Then what else? Anandam. Anandam is not bliss, because bliss comes and goes. So a better translation for Anandam is fullness. Yeah? Fullness means Purnatvam. And Akhanda Bodham. Akhandam is indivisible. Bodham is Jnanam, Jnana Sarupa. So Akhanda Bodham here refers to is consciousness. Now you see here the 3 words Adharam, Anandam, Akhanda Bodham is nothing other than Sat Chit Ananda. Adharam is Sat. That means it is the basis, the pure existence, which we cannot deny. See the Sat of the table right now, the Sat of the laptop, the Sat of you and me is one. That is the Adharam. Then Anandam. Each one of us has that Purnatvam, which is covered by desire. Then Akhanda Bodham is Chaitanya Swarupam or the Chit aspect. So Sat Chit Ananda is Adharam, Akhanda Bodham, Anandam. And Yasmin, in which Layam Yati Puratrayam Cha. So this Puratrayam, that is the 3 cities, the waking dream and deep sleep, these 3 cities, they resolve back into that. What a profound mantra. Very, very profound mantras these are to reveal the nature of the supreme reality. Yeah? How it is the undivided whole, like space. See, space, can we cut space? No. Space can never be affected by anything. But Atma is the parent of space. So it is Akhanda Bodham. And it is the Purnam Anandam. And it is the base or Adharam for everything. So then, see the Mananam which is going on now. Vishwaha, Taijasaha, Pragyaha. Which one of them am I? I am Vishwa for some time, Taijasa for some time, Pragya for some time. But I'm not really any one of them, because the 3 states are mutually exclusive. When Vishwaha is there, other 2 are negated. When Pragya is there, Taijasa and Vishwa cannot be there. So how can my true nature be either one of them? And hence the Shastra says, you are Avasthatraya Sakshi. You are the witness of all the 3 cities, the 3 states. You are the experiencer, one who is aware of all the 3 states. And so it is said you are the common denominator, the common thread. Now let's go to the next one, 15th mantra. Etasma jayate pranaha. Etasma jayate pranaha. Manas sarvendriyani cha. Manas sarvendriyani cha etasmat jayate pranaha. Manas sarvendriyani cha kham vayur jyotirapaha. Kham vayur jyotirapaha. Prithvi vishwasya dharini. Prithvi vishwasya dharini. Etasmat jayate. Etasmat means from this. What is this? From Atma, no? From the self or Brahman. Brahma, Atma is the same. So etasmat, from that Brahma, jayate is born. Now this mantra is going to say what all is emerging from Brahma, which we have seen in great detail where Tattvabodha. So Tattvabodha is such an important text. You know, we have to have studied Tattvabodha before the study of Upanishad. Most of you have done that, that's good, and others can still pick up the Tattvabodha fundamentals. So, etasmat jayate pranaha manaha sarvendriyani cha. So, what all has emerged from Brahma by the Maya Shakti? Pranaha. Pranaha is the cosmic life, Kriya Shakti, the vital life principle. Yeah? We know there are the Panchapranas in our bodies, yeah, which perform the physiological functions. How did they emerge? Remember, they emerged out of the Rajasic guna of all the 5 Panchamahabhutas. The pranas are the collective product of the Rajoguna of the Panchamahabhutas. Then Manaha. Manaha is the cosmic mind. The mind or the intelligence. So Manaha is the product of the Sattva Guna of all the 5 Panchamahabhutas. No? Remember, Manaha has the 4-fold functions. No? Chittam, Ahankara, Buddhi, Manas. Yeah? So collectively we are calling it Manaha here. And Manaha is the outcome of Sattva. Sattva Guna. Then Sarvendriyani cha, all the Indriyani. So there are the 10 Indriyas, 5 organs of knowledge and 5 of action. All of them have emerged from Brahma, from the Pancha Mahabhutas. When they combined, then these were formed. Then let's look at the second line also. Kham. What is this kham? Kham is a Sanskrit word for space. Yeah, space. The Sanskrit is so rich. We have so many words for one meaning. We have Vyoman, Akashaha, Kham. So many words to mean the same concept, space. And so now can you guess? Sukham. Sukham means pleasurable experience. Why? Because Su is prefix before Kham. And when you put Du, Dukham, opposite. So Kham is space. But if it is a good space, pleasurable space, Sukham. If it is a negative space, Dukham. So a little bit Sanskritam there. Kham. Then Vayuhu. Vayuhu is air. The Vayu principle. Jyotihi is fire. Apaha, waters. And Prithvi is qualified further here as Vishwasya Dharini, the upholder of the entire world. So that is the Mother Earth. Mother Earth, bears everything. That's why so patient. She bears with everything. The humanity and mountains, everything. She is the holder. Vishwasya Dharini Prithvi. So the second line is referring to the Panchamahabhutas. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, Prithvi. And the first line is referring to all the subtle and the gross universes that have been formed from these 5 elements which have emerged from Brahman. So, etasma jayate. First, we have to put the second line first. The 5 tanmatras. Then out of them, came prana, manaha, and Sarvendriyani. Yeah? And then what does the mantra say? I am that. All Mananam going on now. So my nature is that from which the gross and subtle universes have emerged. Yeah? So this is mantra number 15. Now let's go to one last mantra, 16. Yat param brahma sarvatma, yat param brahma sarvatma, vishwasyayatanam mahat, vishwasyayatanam mahat, yat param brahma sarvatma, vishwasyayatanam mahat. Sukshmat sukshmataram nityam, sukshmat sukshmataram nityam, tatvameva tvameva tat, tatvameva tvameva tat. So again, this is unfolding the nature of Brahma. Yat param Brahma. So, who is talking here? Guru, who is Brahmadeva. He is telling Ashvalayana, Yat Param Brahma, that which is the supreme reality, Parabrahma, that is Sarvatma. Sarvatma means Sarvasya Atma, the Atma essence of everything. You, me, it. Even a stone, a stone cannot think and decide and feel. But there is the Sat aspect of Brahma in a stone. Not the Chit and Anandam, but Sat aspect. So, Sarvatma. So, that Brahma is Sarvatma. It is the Atma of time, space, and the gross world, subtle worlds. So, that is the Adhara, which you have seen earlier. Then, Vishwasya Ayatanam Mahat. Mahat is supreme. Yeah. Vishwasya means of the world, it is Ayatanam. Ayatanam means the support or the Adhara. Just as the movie screen is the Ayatanam, the locus of the movie. Yeah, so Parabrahma is the substratum, is the basis for the whole world. That's why Adi Shankaracharya has told elsewhere that, we can understand Vedanta in half a shloka. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So that Paramarthika Satyam is Brahma and everything else is Mithya. Jagan Mithya. So Vishwasya Ayatanam Mahat. That support, that Adhara, that essence of everything, that is Param Brahma. And what else? That Param Brahma is Sukshma Taram. The Taram Pratyaya is comparative. So that is subtler than the subtlest. Sukshma Taram Nitya. So what does this mean? That Nirguna Parabrahma is the subtlemost entity. We can easily understand this by the previous shloka. Let me take you back to that shloka. See, we saw that from Brahma, what all emerged? Space, air, fire, water, earth. Now we know that they emerged in this sequence. Now, space has the guna property of sound, and it is a subtlemost tanmatra. Then Vayu has its guna, which is sparsha, touch, and it inherits shabda. Then Jyoti, fire, has its own guna, that is rupa, and inherits shabdam and sparsha. Apaha, waters, will have 4 gunas totally: shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa. And finally, earth will have 5 properties: shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. That's why we say gandhavati prithvi. So the earth will have its own property, smell, yeah, and inherits the previous 4. Now you see that the grosser an object is, the more properties it will have. Yeah? Like say vapor. We cannot see vapor, or maybe we can see vapor, but ice is so dense and solid, tangible. But vapor, it just evaporates. Thought. Can we see thought? Not with our eyes. Yeah? We can see it as a witness, as a sakshi pratyaya, but not as an object. So what this means is when entity is very subtle, it is not available for the organs of perception. And so the mantra number 16 talks about how Brahma is sukshma, sukshmataram, because it is a parent of space. So how can we experience Brahma? No, it is ashabdam, asparsham, arupam, arasam, agandham. That's what that word means, sukshma, sukshmataram. Then nityam. Nityam is eternal. Yeah? But what does eternal mean? Long time? No. Nityam here means that which is timeless. Avyayam, not subject to time. You take anything in the world, over time it is going to deteriorate, decay, subject to weather conditions or whatever, but Brahma is nityam. It is not subject to time and decay. And here, then the last words is Tattvam eva. I'm sure this sounds familiar. We have heard of Tattvamasi, but here it is Tattvam eva. Just another form. Eva means indeed. And asi is implied. Tattvam eva. And the last word, Tvam eva tat. It's a play of the words. Tat Tvam eva tat. So the meaning is quite simple. Tat, that which is Param Brahma, Sarvatma, Vishwasya Ayatanam, Mahat, subtle, Nityam, Tat, Tvam eva. Your nature is that. Tat Jagat Karanam, Tvam Asi. So here is the Mahavakya, Tat Tvam eva. Then the last word is just, putting the words in another sequence. Tvam eva tat. So first that Brahma, you are. Then the last word is you are that. Yeah? To make the equation complete. Yeah? So Brahma is your true reality and you are also Brahma. Yeah? So this is how intense an Upanishad study can be. Yeah? Because it is talking about the most subtlemost entity which is not available for the mind or for the sense objects. Then how to know that? Why are we studying Gita and Upanishads? Because it is the subject. It cannot be known as an object. Yeah? So the more subtle our minds become by Shravanam, Maranam, Nididhyasanam, I will be able to understand that subtlemost entity, Sarvatma, which is the Ayatanam, Adhara of the entire world. Indeed, that is who I really am. Yeah? Ananda Swarupa. Then a question may come, but I don't feel I'm Ananda Swarupa. I'm suffering, I'm anxious, and I'm undergoing painful situations. Yes, but who is undergoing all that? The Jiva. And the Jiva is under the spell of Maya. So, what do we have to do? We have to abide in that, the master of Maya, and that is the Nirguna Para Brahma. There is the example given of the sun. There's a word in Sanskritam for sun, Jagat Chakshuhu. Jagat Chakshuhu means eye of the world. The sun is always watching the whole world, what's happening. Yeah, but the sun's light falls equally on the sewage waters and on pure Ganga waters. But is the sun affected? The sun remains as an unaffected witness of whatever happens, whether it is crime happening or some puja parayanam happening in the world, sun is a detached witness. Yeah? So the nature of Nirguna Parabrahma is likened to the sun. Yeah? So gaining knowledge of that Tat, the Paramarthika reality, yeah, I will be able to negate any experience as a temporary mithya experience and remain unaffected. So that is the point of this Avasthatraya analysis. Yeah. So with this mantra 16, the Guru Brahma has completed the Upadesha. Yeah. And now we are going to see from 17th onwards, how many mantras are left? 9. Yeah. In the 9 mantras, now the student is going to present his understanding. So the Tvam will change to Aham from the next mantra, which we will see in the next class. Yeah. So now we are going to chant a few mantras. We will chant from 10th onwards. Yeah. Since, yeah, from 12th onwards, let's chant. Yes, Lita?
Yes, ma'am.
स एव माया परिमोहितात्मा
स एव माया परिमोहितात्मा
शरीरमास्थाय करोति सर्वम्
शरीरमास्थाय करोति सर्वम्
त्र्यन्नपानादिविचित्रभोगैः
त्रियन्नपानादिविचित्रभोगैः
स एव जाग्रत्परितृप्तिमेति
स एव जाग्रत्परितृप्तिमेति
स्वप्ने स जीवः सुखदुःखभोक्ता
स्वप्ने स जीवः सुखदुःखभोक्ता
स्वमायया कल्पितजीवलोके
स्वमायया कल्पितजीवलोके
सुषुप्तिकाले सकले विलीने
सुषुप्तिकाले सकले विलीने
तमोभिभूतः सुखरूपमेति
तमोभिभूतः सुखरूपमेति
पुनश्च जन्मान्तरकर्मयोगात्
पुनश्च जन्मान्तरकर्मयोगात्
स एव जीवः स्वपिति प्रबुद्धः
स एव जीवः स्वपिति प्रबुद्धः
पुरत्रये क्रीडति यश्च जीवः
पुरत्रये क्रीडति यश्च जीवः
ततस्तु जातं सकलं विचित्रम्
ततस्तु जातं सकलं विचित्रम्
आरमानन्दमखण्डबोधम्
आधारमानन्दमखण्डबोधम्
यस्मिन् लयं याति पुरत्रयं च
यस्मिन् लयं याति पुरत्रयं च
एतस्मात् जायते प्राणः
एतस्मात् जायते प्राणः
मनः सर्वेन्द्रियाणि च
मनः सर्वेन्द्रियाणि च
खं वायुर्ज्योतिरापः
खं वायुर्ज्योतिरापः
पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी
पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी
यत्परं ब्रह्म सर्वात्मा
यत्परं ब्रह्म सर्वात्मा
विश्वस्यायतनं महत्
विश्वस्यायतनं महत्
सूक्ष्मात् सूक्ष्मतरं नित्यम्
सूक्ष्मतरं नित्यम्
त्वमेव तत्
तत्त्वमेव त्वमेव तत्
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ तत्सत्